Trulia is a real estate marketplace. It was formed about 9 years ago. Two Stanford Business School students, Pete Flint, who our current CEO, saw a need for a real estate marketplace, some place where anyone who wanted to buy a house or rent a place could go and see the entire universe of what was for sale. We went public 9 months ago. I joined about that time, and my role here is corporate controller. Pretty much everything that's back office, HR, finance, some sales support reports into me. Trulia was your typical Silicon Valley startup. A lot of funding towards external needs, customer needs, but not a lot of internal process, team support, all of your internal processes like HR, finance, sales support. We really hadn't invested in those processes. So when I got here, it was clear that when we went public, we were going to have a hard time meeting our public company obligations, fiduciary obligations, without support, tools, and people. Based on previous experience at other companies, I was looking for a company that could come in, we could outsource the basic tasks that have to be done by a company. But I wanted someone to help build that process, someone who'd done it before, someone who has elite company experience, so I could do it in a way I would say on the cheap, but get that elite experience that can get me up to speed as soon as possible. My previous choices at companies that were larger were the Accentures of the world and the Big Four providers. Or basically you might hire one or two people just as temps in the back office. I didn't like the big solutions, and they didn't like me because I didn't have enough heads to outsource to them. I didn't like the Big Four because typically you get the pyramid where you've got a partner, senior manager, and you're paying for that overhead. So I was looking for someone at a small firm that we could say, okay, we want to outsource the equivalent of 5 to 10 heads. And I need those 5 to 10 heads to be experts in what they're doing, and I need it to be low cost, and I needed to be plugged in somehow through some connectivity that would allow them to work anywhere. I was originally introduced to Accelica by a former professor and a person who I'd worked with at a previous company. This person was, in my mind, one of the sharpest people I've ever met. He said, hey, I've got this company who's trying to be a small market provider of what you're used to seeing from the big providers like IBM, Accenture. They're looking to provide the same service to smaller companies, something that you'd probably need at a startup with 500 people and 20 people in your function. So I was introduced, I met Anurag and Ruby, and from there we started the relationship. Accelica was the perfect solution for me because they came in and our team was needing process. We didn't have any process. We didn't have people who understood how to run a back office process. They helped implement that, design it. We had feedback. They allowed the team to feel empowered about what they were doing, and then we went ahead and implemented it. And we did this in less than 60 days. So from start to finish, it was a 60-day process. We had it implemented in the end of November. We started at the end of September. The relationship's going very well. Our initial procure-to-pay process has been implemented. It's been in place for about 6 months. We're so happy with the results that when we had some problems in HR and in our order-to-cash areas, we brought Accelica in. They've helped us assess the processes, make some changes, implement them in the data entry portions of those processes. And so just about everything that I do now in the back office, Accelica is supporting in some manner.